Anchorage is a city in Louisville, Kentucky, located in eastern Jefferson County, more specifically. It is mostly composed of high-class residents, and the population is around 2,000 people.
God. What are you doing? Oh, hey. I'm Will Tyler. Just give me a second. Look on Instagram real quick. Oh man, what a party. You should have seen this thing. There must have been at least 350 people at this house. Plus, everyone was plastered, myself included. I do gotta say though, I do kind of feel bad for that poor kid that had that party. It was crazy. There were at least 7 or 8 holes in that wall, in his wall. Not to mention some asshole smashed his ping pong table. Oh wait, I was that asshole. Oh well, it happens. God knows I've hosted my fair share of parties. I mean, how could you resist when you live in a house like this? I mean, my crib has 4 stories, 14 TVs, 8 bedrooms, 12 bathrooms, a hot tub, and a pool house. I mean, come on. Anyway, my point is, just like that kid from last night, I've seen my house get trashed too. It's just the price we have to pay for having a good time. It's well worth it. God, I really do hate Sundays. The combination of the vicious hangover and the fact that we have school tomorrow makes it the undisputed worst day of the week. On the bright side, I don't have any homework, so that's always nice. Or, I should rephrase that. Technically, I do have homework. A lot of it, actually, but I haven't done any of that since sophomore year, and I doubt very seriously today's going to be the day that I break that streak. I mean, what's the point of homework anyway? It doesn't matter. I will hand it to the school. The campus is amazing and probably nicer than a lot of colleges. Guess that's what $25,000 of tuition every year per student will do. Still, regardless, high school's stupid and I don't do anything. Hell, I've already missed 12 days this semester. And second semester started, what, 2 months ago? On the days I actually do go, I spend the majority of my time, wandering the halls or in the nurse's office, I don't know, not in class. Doesn't matter. Besides, I already have college figured out. I'm going to go to Arizona State or maybe UC Santa Barbara, I don't know. I've gotten into both of those, so I just got to decide which university best fits me, whatever that means. I mean, that just translates to which one of the college's parties the hardest. That's all that really matters anyway. I'll visit each one, go to a couple frat parties, and then I'll figure out where I want to go. I don't know what I want to study yet, so I'll probably just end up asking my mom what the easiest major is and go with that. Both my parents know my plan for college, and they're cool with it. Basically, since the start of high school, they knew I was drinking and partying, and they haven't really cared, so they've always been fine with it. They're cool with me just going to college and having a good time. I mean, it's not like I'm gonna need a good degree or good grades or anything, really. I'm gonna make good money. I mean, I'm just gonna take over my dad's business. He's making bank. I mean, honestly, I don't really know what my dad does or what kind of business he has or anything like that, but, the point is, he makes a lot of money. I don't need an MBA or a triple major, I'll be fine. Just gonna run his business.
Hi, I'm Ben Tyler. I was just out here practicing my lacrosse skills because I'm committed to go play at John Hopkins. I'm only a freshman in high school though. I'm used to hearing people tell me that I have it all. That's nothing new. And thinking about it, I suppose I kind of do. I've been blessed with many talents. First off, I'm a stellar student. School just comes naturally to me. I breezed through this first semester of Trinity like it was nothing. I managed a 3.8 without cracking a textbook once. I mean, it's Trinity. I was at least expecting a little bit more of a challenge. I've been blessed with my athletic capabilities. For as long as I can remember, sports have had a huge influence on my life. All of my friends are athletes, and it really adds to my competitive nature as a person. I've never witnessed the tragedy of not being picked on a recess football, basketball, or whatever we're playing. But in high school, I've continued my athletic pursuits in two sports. I start on the junior varsity team as a freshman in both lacrosse and soccer. Now sure, being athletic and smart is cool and all, but my favorite characteristic that I possess is my genuine love of helping people. I spend my Saturdays at the Louisville Science Center as a volunteer. There's nothing that makes me happier than connecting with the kids who go there to learn more about the crazy world of science. On the days that Trinity is not in school, I go to the Anchorage school to help with Miss Wagner's first grade class. What she has me do is pretty simple, but I just love it. I'll sit down with a group of 5 or 6 kids and read with them. When they have trouble reading a word, I have them take a look at the word and help them pronounce it syllable by syllable. I can tell that the kids enjoy my presence just as much as I love theirs. That's why I want to become a pediatrician when I grow up. There isn't one in Anchorage, so I could set up an office right here in my hometown. It sounds like I have the perfect life with a good future ahead of me. Well, I'll be the first to tell you that it sucks. I hate having the weight of the world on my shoulders. I feel pressured by everyone around me to perform, and I'm so used to being the best at what I do that it's become the standard. Sometimes I think it would be so much easier to be Will. Will can get a B in a class and mom and dad will praise him. Where if I get a B, I'll be grounded. Will has it so easy, no stress from anyone. He can just do whatever he wants with virtually no consequences. It isn't fair. I'm not trying to sound ungrateful. I love God and thank Him every chance I get for blessing me with so many talents. But sometimes, I just wonder what it would be like to be average.
I'm Eric West, and this is my beautiful Anchorage home. My life hasn't been a cakewalk, that's for sure, but I love the journey it has taken me on. It has for sure made me the man I am today, and allowed me to meet my wife Doris, and we adopted our amazing child Ernesto from Colombia. I met Doris at work, She was brought in as a consultant on a case I was working, some white-collar crime that I was used to cover the books for. And one of those nights, we were working late, and we decided to go out and grab a quick bite. Before you know it, the first date turned into the second, and so on. I've never had anything given to me. I remember growing up and my parents scraping by to make ends meet. I lost my dad when I was 13, so I had to step in as the oldest of the family. My mom started picking up extra shifts at work, and before you know it, I just started taking care of my little brothers. From that moment on, I vowed I wouldn't live the same life. I don't blame my parents for anything. I understand they went through a lot of difficulties, so did most families at the time. But I never stopped working. I went from job to job, trying to climb that ladder. And all that hard work was lonely. Many nights spent by myself, with the constant echoes in my head of keep pushing, you're almost there. I'm so grateful to have everything steady and constant today. I feel safe and secure in this neighborhood. I remember always looking up to this area as reserved for the upper class. But those who live here work for their money, and it gives me a sense of security. I, unlike others in the neighborhood, worked for my position and status in life. I didn't have everything handed to me on a silver platter. I had to get down in the dirt and work for what I wanted. And some of the people in this neighborhood will. I've told him at least 100 times that he cannot drive 1,000 miles per hour through this neighborhood. It's a resident neighborhood, it's a resident street,
Just because his daddy gave him his credit card doesn't make him any more special than the rest of us. Society has rules. That's the way it has been, and that's the way it will be. That is the only way society can function and not live under pandemonium. I just get so worked up by these kids, you know? I mean, you have fun for a while, right? But there's a line, there's an unspoken social standard. Why mix up aspects of your life? My work stays in the office and my family stays at home. That's the way it should be. And that's the way it should be. Not just for me, but for everyone. These kids especially. Especially Will. He thinks he's special. Well, I hate to break it to him, but he's throwing his life away. Don't get me wrong. I love kids and children. But when it gets to that age, there needs to be a sense of maturity. And he simply has no regard for that. I just don't understand how he's gone this long without that realization. It simply does not make sense. I'm too old to worry about this. It's gonna make me grow old. I mean, look at everything we have to properly succeed, and this one just seems to push all that aside. I didn't have that when I was young, and God, I wish I did. I had to slave over what I earned, and that's just not fair. But for now, I wait, and maybe one day, I'll show him. One day, I'll show him. One day. People just need to get to the point in their lives where they grow up, and they get a stable job, and they settle down. It's just those who reach further than what they can who wind up in trouble. One day I'll wait, and he'll understand.
It is year 2041. Anchorage has become a controlled, strict community after incidents with teenagers like Will Tyler. Eric, or Big E, becomes the controller or person in charge of future Anchorage.
You hear that? Most would say they hear silence. But I like to say I hear security. This neighborhood used to be a war zone of chaos and delinquency until I stepped in. The name is Eric West. As much as I despite the fact, most, know me by other names. Some refer to me as all-powerful dictator, or Big E. But I try not to answer those negative names. After all, I'm just an old man with a family who has lived in the same neighborhood my whole life. I was an accountant all my life, for Christ's sake. That job had to be put on hold when this place got out of hand. Something had to be done. Hell, I'm 60 years old and have to be the one to take charge. I have a wife to look after and a son to mentor. I have to become the supreme monitor of this fine neighborhood in order to ensure the progression and safety of its inhabitants. Even though some are as vile as they come. That man will be the death of me.
Screw you!
Will Tyler's the most careless, non-conformant rat on this side of the Mississippi. Always partying and yelling, always having so much fun without any regard to whom he is disturbing. Ever since I was a younger man, he has been determined to piss me off every chance he gets. I believe he attains some sick sense of pleasure from making my life a living Hades. If I could catch him, I'd teach him some manners. On a different note, I'm hopeful that this fine neighborhood will continue to grow as a high security community. It is safe that way. Safety is my responsibility, and I take great pride in it, as well as maintaining a strong desire for that same sense of security. I am sure to patrol the streets every night and every morning. I investigate disturbances and make sure absolutely no parties take place. I simply don't understand the whole concept of parties. Hours upon hours of disorganized yelling and destructiveness. Too much fun and not enough productivity.
I want safety for my wife Doris and my son Ernesto. He was adopted, and even though he is 34 years old now, he still gets picked on from time to time. Sometimes by that vagrant Will Tyler. It is my job as Supreme Monitor to make sure that there's conformity, discipline, and security. This neighborhood is much more quiet now. Silence, security.
Hi, my name is Will Tyler. I'm a 43-year-old. I'm living a pretty good life by my standards. I had an awesome youth life, partying all the time and hanging out with my friends. Thanks, Pop. Yeah, my dad's pretty chill. He lets me live in his house and always supports me. He's always liked me more than my brother Ben. Ben was given the family business, but he lets me live off him. So who do you really think he likes more? My mom, on the other hand, she's always been a fan of Ben more. She always was looking to get me in trouble when I was younger, but my dad was always supporting me. Let me show you the rest of the neighborhood.
Got this big ass caterpillar on the ground. Oh, hello. My name is Ben Tyler. It's quite a pleasure to finally meet you guys, and welcome to my home. During this interview, please let me know if you guys would like or need anything, because I'm sure my wife Jane would be happy to assist. And about the rest of my family, I have 2 kids, Jack, my eldest son, and Jill, my younger daughter. Jack's in 8th grade, and he's strongly leaning towards Trinity High School, which is where I went. My daughter Jill is in 5th grade. They both attend Anchorage School. We also have a dog. His name is Bud, and he's heavily overweight. So, about my business, Tyler Homes. My father, Eric Tyler, used to own the business, but he grew tired of it after a while, and he handed it down to me. It's funny, because I never thought I'd actually own the business, you know? As a kid, I actually wanted to be a doctor, but I guess that changed when I grew a little older. So far, I've done a pretty good job with the company, and consider myself to be a hardworking, self-made, and successful man. It's a great feeling to have helped grow the company to what it is today, and my favorite part about owning the business is being able to work right here in my home, wearing whatever I want, just being comfortable. However, recently I've received an offer to sell my company. Excuse me. The nectar of the gods. So a good college buddy of mine, Jim Leahy, the owner of a few successful trailer parks up in Canada, he's actually offered to purchase my business for a pretty substantial amount of money. And right now we're still currently in the process of negotiating and taking a fine-tooth comb through all the details, but it sounds like it would work out pretty well for both of us. You know, I never really thought about selling the company before, but now that Jim made this offer, I'm heavily considering it. It's kind of crazy. Well, how do I like the neighborhood? It's great. I really feel at home here in Anchorage, and it's my true home. I mean, I've lived here all my life, and it's all I've really ever known. Everyone here is so friendly and just all around great. It's great to be able to let my kids walk to school and roam around the neighborhood without worrying about any trouble. I really feel safe and sound and just generally at home here in Anchorage. And the best thing about Anchorage to me is that all the people here share common characteristics. We're just all normal, good people here living the American dream. We really share a bond here in Anchorage. Oh, sorry, gotta take this. It's really important business negotiations. Hello?
Yeah, the neighborhood has changed over the years. They started to build more houses, and the leaders have become stricter. The leaders, Big E and all of his rules and policies, he thinks he's so important, where he's really just running a neighborhood that could be run by dogs. This place is practically a nursing home for people that are already on their deathbeds. You think you're so important, don't you, Eric? Your job's making sure no one dies in their house. You poser. That guy just gets on my last nerve. I mean, what gives him the right to tell me what to do when I can't leave the community? I mean, what's so special about my brother anyway? I mean, yeah, he always got better grades in school and everything, but all he did was study. He never wanted to come and hang out with my friends or anything. I mean, what is wrong with him? We're a bunch of fun. I mean, anything. Ben, what's wrong with you? You're always such a buzzkill.
Good night, son.
Thanks, Dad. Good night. Yeah, my dad's the best. He always cares for me so much. Yep, this is the life. Just sitting in my own space, watching the game while relaxing and having a cold one. What could be better than this? I mean, if I could ask for one other thing, it would be someone to share this life with. Maybe a wife or a girlfriend. Who needs a job anyway? If you have the things I have, why would you want to go out and waste my time with a job? And I would be miserable at that every day. Yep, I'm living the good life. Another thought, maybe I should go find another job. Maybe I should go and try to find someone to date again. I mean, it is just me and my two cats right now. And it's a little lonely around here with only my dad coming out to talk to me every once in a while. Man, I really need to get my life in shape. You know what? Tomorrow morning, I'm gonna go out and talk to Ben. And if I try to see if he can get me a job. He's always been good at trying to help me out. The boy is one of the most successful people I know, for Pete's sake. You know what? Starting tomorrow, I'm a new man.
Since Anchorage has become more strict, it has forced the spoiled citizens to become more appreciative and mature.